they own the land. That's how they look at it. We don't look at it as owning it. We belong to it. It's different. And I think when you think you own something, you can do what you like with it. When you belong to it, it's part of you, so you're going to look after it like you look after yourself. And we need more of that in this government, in this country that rules us. And that's my idea of sovereignty anyway, us having an equal say in what happens with our people and what happens with our land. I look at the intervention, for instance, in Western Australia. If you speak to most white people about that, they'll say, oh, well, they had to do that because children were being abused, you know, because John Howard said, save the children about 40 times in one paragraph, you know, make sure the people knew. That's what I'm doing it for. So no, that's not why he's doing it. He's doing it to move those communities into 12 shires so they can mine the land that they were on. You know, most people don't know the truth and they don't want to know because it's too hard. It's too hard. And they're the sort of things that we need to be able to have a say about. And that's why we want this property, so we can have a say about it. We can have a say about it being kept and say about it being shared with all people in its natural state, apart from the building. You know, we need to have a building because we've got precious things that need to be stored and securely stored, you know, for people to see. But apart from that, we're not going to change this land at all. If we can't keep it, what will be lost is a relationship that has been built up with the spirits here, with us people. What will be lost are some very precious stones and artefacts that Karno and I let Steve Strong hold and show. He signed a contract with us that he could keep them, he could show them, but no one was to touch them, apart from himself, at his shows. If we don't get this keeping place here, they're not going to come back here. And they belong here.
Are they from here?
Some are from here, some are from... There's a storyline, goes from here to New South Wales, and some of them come from along that storyline. Yeah. And Karno went to New South Wales and met the tribes up there. They acknowledged him as a sovereign, as a lawman, and he told them their story, which a lot of them never didn't know. I've never met, nor I think I'll ever meet again a person like Karno Walker. He would be the only Aboriginal person I have ever met that lived and breathed the old ways, the culture. He managed as best he could in a white man's world to live culturally. He's so inspiring. He mesmerised people. But he had a real cheekiness to him, which was just wonderful. He could be quite devilish in his cheekiness, but at the same time he could be so serious and so almost scary when he got really intense, or when he put on his paint and his kangaroo skin. He was a warrior. There was no doubt about that. He was a warrior. And like when he'd speak, even though I knew a lot of what he's talking about, he just sat there and watched and listened because he was spellbound or whatever. But like I say, he lived and breathed and wanted to share with everybody he met. You'd walk up the street with him and someone would say hello, or you were standing in a line somewhere and someone would say hello, and well, they'd hear the story because Karno would just want to tell everybody. He wanted to share what he knew, and that was a wonderful thing. He to me, there were times when my heart would just break. Like, we'd go to the ILC, for instance, for meetings, and they would be saying things, and Karno would be saying things, and he was right. But if we're going to work with the white man, we've got to play their game. And I understood what they wanted from us. I understood why we shouldn't give it to them. And I'd say to Karno, we'll talk about it later. I'd say, all right, aunty. And I'd just say, yeah, all right, we'll do what you'll say. And then when we get out there, I'd explain it to them. This is what we have to do, Karno, because if we want to keep the land, we've got to do what they're asking us to do. But I would feel so torn inside because I know that Karno was right. Why should we have to jump through their hoops to take our land? They stole it. Why do we have to do what they want us to do to have it back? It's just not right. So when I say I had the best childhood because I was brought up knowing both ways, both laws, both cultures, in a way it hasn't been a blessing because you're torn between the two, and that's hard. Whereas Karno wasn't torn between the two. He knew what he wanted and he knew how it should be and he knew the proper way, the old way that it should be done. And although he had to do it, he didn't like it. And I understand that completely. And now, finally, we're going to do it that way. And I know he'll be happy. And I just wish we'd done it before, but I guess we needed to be forced into it somehow. Even when we went through the federal court with Karno, there was one day there when he had the whole courtroom in tears, when he stood up and he spoke from his heart about our people and our land. And so there are a lot of people out there that do understand it, but they feel powerless to do anything about it. Whereas that judge more or less said to us, well, I can't make a decision over you people. You've proved that I have no jurisdiction over you. So it's up to you to go out and sort it out for yourselves. So we are going to sort this one out for ourselves, for Karno. I just wish we'd done it before. But I know he's there, he's watching, he's proud. And helping us too. I know that. He's a big loss, not just to us, but to the world. Definitely. And like I say, there'll never be another one. Yeah. Christine has a lot of the knowledge though, because she was Karno's best mate and they shared everything. All our stories are written, there's a lot of recordings, so it's not all lost, and that's the main thing. I just hope that it's not a long fight, because we're all getting a bit weary.
Sounds like there's more important things to get on with as well.
Well, you think that? I thought that too. I should be home. I'm doing a uni course online as well as working. I've got assignments that should be in. And I thought, what's more important than this? Nothing's more important than this right now to our people. Nothing. Nothing's more important than this for the world, because if we get what we want here, people from all over the world might come to see and learn and heal.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of in the like more important things to get on with, like because you
Yeah.
can't until the fight's over, you can't really
No, we
get the
can't. No, we
cultural
can't.
centre.
No, there's no point. No. And, you know, until it was divested, there was nothing we could do there either, because there was no way we were going to build something for them to take back. You know? So, I guess once we're sure it's ours, then it'll be looking at funding or help, or men with can use a hammer and nails and you know, someone to build. And yeah.